Welcome to Philly Coco Presents Side Project Spotlight, episode 89. This is a developer's journey into making cool stuff. I am Kotaro.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Aaron.
And we are Philly Coco, a Philadelphia-based Coco Heads community focused on Apple development. That primarily, but not exclusively, means iOS, Mac, tvOS, watchOS, and visionOS development. Philly Coco's true desire is to take you higher on your own developer journey. Whew. All right. Nice. Yeah. Well, this is, as of this recording, this is pretty much at the tail end of the Google I/O event. And
yes.
I don't know if you have any general feedbacks or general thoughts around that event.
Well, Aaron says we have to watch the intro video, that it's like pure AI slop.
You have to, but if you love AI generated video.
I don't know if we can get sound. I don't know if I want to have sound going through this, but
I don't think there's much sound because.
Okay.
I'm going to play this, and if you're listening, you can just hear us react to this. So it's beginning, and there's a text prompt here. The text video prompt.
So we're actually live reviewing.
A wide shot of the number 10 as a space station orbiting Earth.
Whatever this intro video to the keynote was. And
I have no idea if the audio is coming through or not.
Okay, so there's an AI-generated looking thing of a countdown.
Oh my God, now there's like people in 8 flying, and then there's a balloon.
Does that dude just morph into a...
Now there's a motorcycle making a 6 in the desert. And
number 5.
And 5 on a boat. It's just exciting stuff here.
All right, look at that.
Car.
My
God.
Broke.
Roller skates.
For number 3.
3 pulling roller skates.
A whole
bunch of creepy looking
AI,
people.
Yeah, people.
And balloons.
Number 1 and balloons.
Like a circus tent, or maybe one of those.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know, like a revival tent.
Wow.
That's exciting.
This is where that's.
Oh, that wasn't it.
But that was no. This is the good part.
What is this?
This is the good part. That was.
Where
oh my goodness! What is this? This is a cow.
It's a cow.
Right, yeah, there's some scary AI generated voice.
These are like the most AI looking AI images.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow. This is like it's like if your CG budget is low, feel free to use this service, I guess.
Oh my God.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I don't understand what's happening.
All
like, these images don't belong together, so it looks ridiculous. It looks terrible.
It's also like they're limited to whatever, like 9-second clips or something. So that's exactly how long the things are.
Yeah, every single cut. It's like every cut's the same length.
Oh yeah, a couple hours with zebras and a picnic, elephant. There's a parade, like a.
Oh my God! There's a chicken suited guy.
And a pixelated dinosaur in the middle.
So this has no story, no structure, no direction. It's just like almost like random stuff just in here because you can generate it. Like, that's not how you make a movie, guys.
Welcome to I/O.
Meanwhile, was it last year, the year before, Apple actually had people jump out of a plane? Like, that was actually cool.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we can stop this now because we're in the keynote. But
that was at least not as super cringy as last year's opening act, which was like that musician guy.
I don't know. I would debate that, but
he was like Google. I can't remember. It was Mark Riboulet or something, who's actually very talented, but it was just so too much last year. He's like Google, and he looked insane.
Stop.
Good thing I didn't watch that last year.
Yeah. So anyway, this is our WWDC episode.
Yeah. Speaking of which, but before we go to the main course of this particular podcast. We are in the middle of a side project, and so this is kind of our accountability podcast, for the most part. And what are we working on that we have to be accountable for this side project? What is our side project this time?
Okay, well, Bento Fit is the code name. We still got to come up with the official name. It is a HealthKit dashboard app with widgets to allow us to surface some of the measurements that HealthKit records for us, but doesn't necessarily display for us the way we want to. And the original idea was to create these little dashboards kind of themed around where you are on a fitness journey between Kotaro, the couch potato who walks a lot, and Aaron, the mega athlete, triathlon, super swimmer guy who's probably going to win the Olympics next time for something, right? Your legend grows every podcast.
Yeah. We're just making
and then
stuff up.
me in the
accurate.
middle. Yeah, me in the middle has a regular workout regimen, and I'm trying to like ramp it up as I go. So that was the original idea.
Yes.
So that meant we all had different things we wanted to track from HealthKit. So we've implemented most of them in the app, and we're still filling with it. And then for the UI, the inspiration I said in the Slack today, and I think this is appropriate. It's Tron meets lunch in a slice of life anime.
I did not see that. I saw the Tron part. I didn't realize that extended out to the
because
anime part,
because
but
Tron
hilarious.
because at least in the dark mode we have a lot of like Tron aesthetic, but then the idea of it being like a bento box, at least in shape and concept. If you ever seen a bento box in an anime or in real life, they do exist. But so that's the idea in a nutshell. And so far we're dog fooding it. It works. We have some widgets that don't quite work yet. We're still refactoring things and tweaking things, and still more work to do. But I mean, we're pretty close. It's just a matter of putting the time in now, which is just, as we said before, the hardest part. But we have made progress.
I mean, we made a significant amount of progress now that I think about it.
Because you were like up in the, I'd be getting emails from you, and I'm like trying to go to sleep, and I'm getting emails like with PR requests from Kotaro. He's like, "That's it. That's it. I'm gonna be done." And then like 30 minutes later, I was like, "Oh wait, okay, I'm done now." 11 o'clock at night.
When you got how you got a flow going, you just can't stop, and you just.
No, I agree. It just with the exercise regimen I've been doing though, I've noticed that if I don't get enough sleep, it's very difficult to keep it up. So I've been pretty regimented about the sleep.
Yeah,
so I just kind of turn on my sleep mode, and I'm just like out.
Because I think you did a lot of the contribution that your work on was sort of like to clean up my, basically clean up my data point protocol.
Oh yeah, I took the health data point stuff we had. I did a little refactoring to bring back some generics into it. So we had one bento card that could take in, the data points, and so I just simplified things that way. I used Aider again, really liking that with the 2.5 Flash preview model to do the actual rewriting of the code for the most part, so I didn't have to type so much. And yeah, it was good. It was a good exercise for a few hours messing around with it. I'm getting better at that. I really do like that tool. I've talked about it for the last few episodes, and I like it a lot better than like using Cursor.
Okay.
I'm not so much about Cursor is great and all, and you can just have the agentic modes of those tools. I like just putting in just the context I want. If I know exactly what I want it to do, I'm just like, do this. I go to ask mode first, so it doesn't actually write anything, and I just like do this, and then we have a little like quote unquote discussion where I kind of design what I want to do, and I say, okay, that looks like what I want, and then I just like to say, do it. I just like do it. I just type that in regular code mode.
Do you tell it to also do your commits for you?
Well, it does commits automatically right now. I don't know. There's ways of setting up what it does exactly, but it does commits by itself as it goes along and makes changes. We talked about that before, and so it works out. And then when you squash it all to do a merge, you can take those commit messages and put them together in a nice little succinct commit message. So we have some idea of what happened, and it's good. So yeah, I did that. I did some updates. It was basically an invisible update, but it did touch a lot of files.
Yes. But I have to say, it allowed me to sort of focus on a lot of UI tweaks and refinements. Like punching up the Tron mode was like one of the things that I didn't like the original like bland like blueness, so I kind of like try to punch that up.
It didn't seem bland to me, but I'm digging the new aesthetic.
Yeah. So, and then I think like the other one, I was trying to like sneak in a shader that would like give you the scan line, but my goal for that was not because it was a shader scan line. I wanted to like animate that in, but I still haven't got around to like doing that, and I think I need to like add it in a timeline view to get that to work properly in the shader. Like it's like weird little things like that I'm like getting obnoxious about at this point. even like the context menu thing was like the shape of it when you press down. If you don't set the content shape correctly in the right spot as a context preview type, it doesn't do it. But I Googled that fix.
Is that
like
a
a savage, like a caveman. Everything I did was handcrafted.
Yeah, there's a lot of like I still think there's some weirdness with SwiftUI even after using it for a few years, where the order of operations sometimes I'm not sure where to put a modifier, and it can make a big difference, and sometimes it doesn't make a difference, and sometimes it does, and I don't always have the intuition of when or like where to put the modifier sometimes.
It's weird because it's very much like CSS, and in the traditional sense of like they all stack onto each other, and in this case, like a good chunk of the time, if you're not careful, they override each other.
Yeah, and it's not always clear like which ones are gonna combine well and which ones are gonna kind of overwrite each other unless you know the details of each modifier. It's like it's just a little quirk of SwiftUI. It's convenient. You can stack modifiers and stuff like that. But and it makes it's not a big deal because you're just doing like, well, that's wrong, and then you just start moving them around to fix it.
One of the funny things, and I'll get off this topic, but like one of the funny things was the widget. I realized we had, like in the beginning, I had put widgets, like a template widget in like basically the hello widget in our thing, and I was like, oh well, let me start to like incorporate our packages in there just to make sure things are clean and maybe like start to like lay things out in some fashion, right? So I just started just putting some basic stuff in. I was like, oh, this is pretty nice, right? So I believe I added HealthKit integration, but I didn't actually try to see if it would actually do the calls. So that might be a test I might like try out for that one like daily step, just to see like can you get something back that's real. But if that works, that's going to be amazing, because that means all. Go ahead.
No, continue your thought. Finish your thought.
Well, that means that all that work, that upfront work that you set up for us, is going to come pretty cleanly in terms of like having it on the widget.
Oh yeah, well that was part of the reason. I really think I'm not even sure if we have this technically structured the way. There's a couple ways you can set up SPMs to modularize like local packages. There's a couple different ways of doing it, and I think when you have a lot of them, like at work, I'm trying to look at maybe changing it so I can have multiple Swift package files. But the way that Xcode handles these things is a little weird. This way, we have one like definition, like Swift, package file, but we could see everything as folders, which makes it really easy to modify everything.
Yeah.
And so it's actually one package and multiple modules. Whereas you can have multiple packages, but then they don't show up as folders in there. They show up as like packages in the main area, and it's like I don't know. We'll get into this with the WWDC thing, but Xcode's whole interaction with packages is still a little weird. But yeah, because it is just a package, it should be pretty easy to, and we have everything modularized. It should be pretty easy to bring the stuff in, and we can tweak the modules to our heart's desire. And did you take the Bento card and use that or did you make a new widget? It looked like you made a new widget view.
Basically, it just originally was going to use the Bento card, but then I think it was dependent on the model, and I just wanted to like get a layout in place first just to see what that would look like regardless. It has like widgets are weird because they have like some kind of like layout like padding of some kind that like locks it in to like into the interior. So initially I was like, oh, I got to figure that out. But I ended up putting like our color back, like the green color background with a like white border. Like the white border was like incidental. I was like, I didn't realize that, because I changed that somewhere. Like now it looks like a bento box, like a legit bento box. But so like,
do you think
maybe
do you think it's something we should try to do though, to get the bento card the same view? Because I thought that was like a major advantage of doing like SwiftUI. If you can have the view be reused in both places, I mean, we don't have as much maintenance.
Yes, I would agree. I would probably want to refactor that to. So we
might have to modify the bento card because of so it's not adding undue padding or something.
Yeah. I mean, that's just me being inexperienced with widgets in general, or like I haven't touched those in a long time.
And my thing with SwiftUI and padding is always that always comes up a lot with me too, where it's like, where should I put this padding? Like when you're making a view to be reusable, you want to be careful exactly where you're putting padding on, because it'll mess up usage.
In the widgets case, it's like it's got an obnoxious amount of padding by default, and I don't know where to turn that off, because I thought I just ignore safe area and it should be fine. It still like shoved me into a border, like this massive, massive like padding or margin. I'm like, okay, how do I turn those margins off?
But it does look like it's in a little box now.
Yeah, but it looks like it's in a little box, because I was like, fine, I'm just gonna make this a rounded corner, and if you're gonna force me in a box,
don't put culture in a box.
Yeah, so but it's like, oh well, it's convenient. It actually worked out. Maybe I'll keep it this way. But it's one of those things where like, okay, like now this is actually a pretty cool idea. Maybe I'll just like lean into this a little more and make it look like the icon.
Well,
because
the new Google UI stuff is not much more skeuomorphic, right? A little bit. The app that just got a big refresh with the 3D icons.
The 3D Airbnb.
Yeah, man. I think the whole kind of semi skeuomorphic thing is coming back. Textures, drop shadows, colors in your icons, multiple colors,
frosty glasses,
frosted. Yeah, it's gonna be good. We're gonna see that again, I think, at DubDub too. So you did the UI widget layout, and Aaron. Last minute here, we were right before we started recording. We tested it.
Clutch.
We got double column cards.
Yeah,
finally.
Yeah, I worked out that like last weekend or something. I wasn't really happy with it, because I realized we need like a whole like layout manager to actually manage where the things are placed, and it shouldn't be the responsibility of the view to figure out where to put these cards and like whether they should fit in a 2 in a column or 1. Just like, oh, whatever, we'll figure that out later.
Well,
so I put up the PR and code. See if you just like merged it without testing it. Like, oh,
no, we did test a little. We tested here live.
You did not test it at all.
I ran it in a simulator. You saw it.
You told me YOLO, and you merged it.
I did say YOLO, let's squash the merge. And then
vibe coding's getting to you, man.
Wait. We just happened. The order of events was I said YOLO, let's merge it. And then you said, did you even test this? I said no, but then instead of merging it right away, I went and I ran the branch right here with you. I shared the screen, and then it worked in the simulator. And that was enough for me, because I'm like,
I thought you'd already merged it.
No, I almost did. That would have been even funnier. And I was like, YOLO. Hilarious. I have done that for myself though. I did a thing. I was like, whatever, let's go.
I mean, what's funny is like you YOLO some of my PRs, and I didn't even realize it gets YOLO'd. I was like, oh,
well, no,
okay.
I read through the code, and like with some of your PRs, it was all like UI stuff, and I was like, and it didn't have any merge conflicts. I'm like, it'll be fine. It was mostly like asset catalog stuff, and I'm like, I don't care what they look like. I'll look at them later. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm trying to go to sleep. I just want to get this in test flight.
I mean, one of the interesting things that introduced, because we had a couple of data bento cards that are like, because they're 2 column, they like stretch out beyond the sort of like the 4 rows that we've sort of like personally set for ourselves. And I think when we discussed it, Aaron, prior to this PR, I was like, well, this is actually kind of good to see, because then we can kind of like decide like, oh, like this is where we'll do the in-app purchase, so that we in the future we'll just lock it to like 4 rows, right? You cannot go past 4 rows of any kind, but you would be able to, if you pay, if you pay money, we will allow you to have as many rows as you want.
Yeah, well, at least it fits though.
Studio's display money.
You gotta get that studio display money, right? So
I think maybe we start with, can we afford a pizza slice, which is $3.50 or $4.50 near me, depending on whether it has pepperoni. Let's see if we can get up to that level, and then we'll ratchet up.
Can we get like 3 ChatGPT tokens?
Yeah, what's the minimum that Apple will even, like, before they'll even cut a check? That we hit that first.
Minimum would be like $1.
They'll give you a check for
sorry.
$1.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't quite get that. So minimum is 100.
Okay, so we're gonna have like a year or two.
Yes.
Before we get paid. Anyway, no, but that's a good idea for the in-app purchase because we were wondering what to do with it. With that, it makes sense.
If you exhaust all your pity purchases from friends and colleagues.
Yeah. Once we exhaust all of them, anybody left who buys?
Maybe that'll get you. So let's see. Well, how much would you charge for like that? Well, how much you thinking that? I mean, we're hot taking this here.
I don't know.
Everything.
All right, let's say you charge
200% more expensive now. So.
Oh yeah, so inflation.
Well,
let's say $10. Okay, let's say $5. If we're being realistic about this, right?
Okay, I don't know. We haven't really had a whole detailed discussion about whether we're going to do a subscription or just like a one-off in-app purchase,
but
we could just sell it for straight up money on the App Store and guarantee no one ever gives us any money.
Yes. Well, I was thinking like, oh well, this is the thing that will like, it's like objectively makes the app visually look worse, but yet because you want to stuff so much crap in your bento box.
We could make it paginate.
We will give you could pay us money and we would do it for you.
Yeah. I mean, you could do it pages and limit each page to the same.
Just keep scaling it down until it all fits on the screen.
Or just keep scaling it down.
You want to do that work, Aaron?
We have to see how badly this looks, by the way, on the tiniest of iPhones, because I know there were some issues before I tested that.
Now I have to. Okay, yeah.
But anyway, that's where we're at with the bento cards. This is supposed to be our WWDC episode, so let's wrap up the bento updates.
Yes. So we're I'm going to continue working. I'm going to try to get widget thing working like real data, and I actually want to also get an onboarding kind of like it's a combined version of like onboarding and like a tutorial like slideshow.
You want to start doing that? Okay.
Yeah, get that in. Although the other thing we'd want to do, and I don't, it can be me too, but is figure out a way to like store this data or like reorder it so that you can like it can be the logic, but just to reorder the cells, like some way to like change the like which cell gets displayed. I think we still haven't got that mechanic to work yet.
First, you need like some kind of data structure too.
Well, Steve can vibe code that for us.
Yeah.
There should be like degrees of vibe coding.
I don't actually vibe code though. I just use the machine. I just use the LLMs to rewrite things for me, and then I fix its inevitable mistakes by hand.
You don't get it to fix its own mistakes.
Or a favorite thing, you do it, and then it does something really confidently, and then like today even at work this happened, and then it just makes up an API that doesn't exist. And it's like, I don't know, you just put the error message in, and then it's like, you're right, that doesn't exist, my bad. You're like, why did they have to anthropomorphize this stupid, it's a function. It takes data in and gets data out. It's a function, essentially. It's not it's not a living thing. It's not an intelligence. I don't know, it's so frustrating to me. But the way that they have these things programmed to just spit out overly friendly text, it's just like... Yeah. But yeah, it has this very confident sentences about, it just spits out code. I'm like, that's not an API that exists anywhere. What are you doing?
Well, nobody asked for this. What are you doing?
Yeah, that happens a lot too. I didn't ask for this. What are you talking about? But that's why, I like Aider, because it helps you to really narrow it in, put it on rails, kind of like you can only mess with these files. You can make certain files read only. That's actually a really cool feature, that you can make files read only. So that you can guarantee that they can be in the context, but they won't be changed. And it's like, that's great. Anyway, enough about Aider. But so data, you want me to look at data structures for reordering and like, and other stuff. I don't know.
Yep.
Other internal stuff. And then Aaron is, I don't know.
Maybe I'll finally get my like actual workout metrics stuff that I've been working on, but haven't, because everything changed. I kept like taking a break, and then all this, the whole data structure.
Yeah,
changed,
actually, like adding more of those different data points or different health kit points, different health kit.
Yeah.
Data would be great.
Yeah,
actually, that would be really good.
I'm telling you, man, that's the best use of these LLMs. Just be like, here, look at this function we wrote already. Make a new one that does this. And it just goes, plops it out. And like, yeah, that works.
So it,
You
just
go
takes
modify
it takes a dump on your code. Is that what you just? Is that the metaphor? Is that the metaphor?
It just dumps out HealthKit integration code that looks like the HealthKit integration code we already wrote.
My goodness! All right. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that really horrible visual.
Look, man, I don't have a lot of time. I told you way back like weeks ago. I was like, I'm looking for anything that saved me time in the middle of the night when I'm trying to get this stuff done.
Does it save you time?
Yes, it does in the circumstances that I've described. Like, I want to add another HealthKit variable, and I figure out what it is, and if it's pretty similar to some of the other functions we wrote already, then I add that into the context, and I'm like, make a new one like based on this function, but give me this information instead, and then it spits out something that's the same pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of me typing it or copying and pasting it and changing variable names and stuff, it just kind of usually works. So I would say it saves me a little bit of time that way. And where it really saves time is if I have to move stuff around between files, if I do a lot of refactoring. See, that saved me a lot of time. I was doing that refactoring about the health data point because it also changed all the references. Now I think I had to go through a few rounds of making it change things. Like it would miss sometimes for some reason. Like it wouldn't change it in one place. But then, Xcode would complain, but you just tell it, oh, you missed this, and then it goes and renames stuff. So like the renaming actually works a lot better than Xcode's renaming does. Just renaming things, that saves me a lot of time because Xcode breaks half the time when I try to rename anything with their refactoring tools, or it literally crashes on me and then leaves everything in an unstable state.
That does happen.
God, Xcode's become such a trash fire this last year or two.
Well, speaking of Xcode,
yes,
as we desperately try to pivot half an hour in to the main topic, which is WWDC.
Hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams of what we predict and maybe hope based on these predictions will be revealed at WWDC, which is in June
9th. Starts the
9th. I'm sorry, yeah, June 9th.
So I haven't really followed the rumors, but too much, but I know some. Let's go through and start with you, Kotaro. Is there anything that you really want to see at WWDC this year, or anything that you predict will definitely be there? I guess you can pick one of both.
I want to see, so I think with visionOS, I want to see what they decide. Like sometimes with WWDC, it's kind of like reading tea leaves, right? So like it will reveal where the priorities are in Apple's roadmap, even though they don't tell you. Like the lack of innovation, or the lack of progress in one particular tech tells you a lot about like something where they're like, okay, this like Pencil Kit is a really good example of like they revealed Pencil Kit for like one WWDC, and then the next WWDC they give you just a little bit, and then like 2 or 3 WWDCs there's barely anything updates for that framework. And then, to be fair, that's a very small one, but the same thing with Sprite Kit happened, and Scene Kit. I want to see, and now in this case, this is the whole OS, and Apple TV is another great example of like
Apple
something
TV never
where
gets
there's
any
like
good updates.
They rarely get any good updates in terms of like anything like that's like that you can like as a developer take advantage of or utilize. Usually it's more like what I kind of call like a maintenance update or something like that. So I want to see, because visionOS is so young, I feel like they can't just give up on it, right? So they have to like nurture its evolution, and they should put in a lot of resources in its so I'm curious like what they're going to do there.
You're just hoping for significant visionOS updates.
Yes, I don't want my Jobs visionOS Pro to purchase to go to waste.
Wait, you didn't buy one, did you?
I did not, but
no, you worked
did, so yeah.
So that's what you're looking for, significant visionOS. I think that's going to happen.
Yes, yeah. I'm anticipating that they're not double down, but they're like give this year some reasonable updates around spatial, particularly around spatial AI. I'm sorry, AR, probably AI with AR, because AI is the hot thing. Probably like Siri, like Apple Intelligence integration, deeper integrations into visionOS. Spatial, I really hope desperately, but I know that that's going to be a tough call, is they would really commit some resources into fleshing out Reality Composer Pro, because it's kind of like a baby, like I don't even know what's younger than a baby, like a fetus. I'm really horrible with these metaphors today. It's like Unity, but like really, really, really dumbed down. And like, I know that its design is not to be Unity. It's just meant to be like this, like, I'm going to just place your 3D assets in this space, and here are some like events that you can hook into coding wise. But like, that's not a great experience when, if you're a 3D artist or a 3D developer. Like, they need much more high fidelity tools, for lack of a better word. So I hope that they like push that much farther than they have already. I mean, it's okay, but it's not. It's very low, like too simple.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me.
How about Aaron? Do you want to go next? Keep things fresh.
I've been hearing about this like home device, the HomePod with screen, or whatever they're going to call it. Is that ever going to come out?
You think they would announce a hardware at WWDC? They haven't done that forever.
They announced visionOS, didn't they?
At WWDC?
Yeah, didn't they?
I'm trying to remember. I think they announced it.
They would have to announce Vision Pro at WWDC. Did they?
Did they?
See, look, this happened only a year ago.
They did announce it, and it was like, and you'll be able to like order it next year or something, right?
Okay, that would be interesting. So, I mean, if they have this like a HomePod with a screen, that could work. That could be cool. I mean,
there is one thing, if you're looking for tea leaves to read, if they talk anything about, when they're talking about the layout, how you design your layouts, if there's any implication of a foldable implied, right? Like if there's anything that they talk about like size class or some weird implications of like with a wink and nod, you never know what type of UI we could have.
Yeah. Yep.
Some extra thin layouts.
Extra large widgets.
Extra large. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
extra super large widgets.
Or multi-window support in iOS.
Yeah, that would be a giant flag right there.
Yeah,
multi-window support in iOS. Yeah.
The other thing too about speaking of widgets, animatable widgets.
More animatable, like a for real animation. Did you guys?
Yeah, no, like for real.
Did you guys see? Wait, did you link to that video? Someone linked to the video. I think I saw it on our Slack about how to do animated widgets. This crazy thing with timers.
Yeah, I mean,
I watched that video. That technique is cool, and like we could totally use it. I'm just trying to think of what can we animate, but it's such a hack. But
yeah, I mean the other like non-hack is like, how like in Bento Fit, and this is one of the things that I'm going to try to fix. I've been trying to get to work, but it is like you can animate the text. They actually have a modifier that allows you to like animate in like, like what do you call it? Like,
yeah, you can do
flips, a timer. Yeah. And you can do countdowns, and it animates in a way like a countdown would normally animate.
It's limited, but that's one way of doing some kind of animations. So you can like replace the font and do that, I think.
Yeah. And I think the you can do that in a widget. Like, I think
you can do that in a widget as like
work in a widget.
A supported thing.
Yeah.
So we could
but
just
if you're doing like if you're doing like a bespoke animation, or if like some kind of like, I don't think you could do metal shaders in a widget, but that would be cool.
You could do some crazy hacks. There's this video floating around. It goes into detail about how you do like techniques. You could do like the actual clock hand going around, or more advanced stuff.
Yeah.
Like there is not a publicly accessible way of easily doing that. And I think at least one of them
becomes, will Apple approve of that?
I don't know. There's like a lot of stuff in the App Store that uses it apparently. So whatever. But
interesting.
Again, that's I don't think we're going to do anything that's going to risk.
No
problems.
We don't have the time for that.
Yeah, we don't have time to deal with that crap. So
anything else?
HomePod with a screen. Anything else, Aaron? Because that's actually a pretty cool idea. Although I'm not 100% sure what the use case.
Mentions of it somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's probably pretty
only or something.
So would that mean that there would be a new a new OS?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think there's
like a home OS or something.
I think there already is like a thing that runs on the HomePod,
right?
But it doesn't really do much.
But is that one of those? Is it like CarPlay where you have to like apply? I forgot.
I don't know. I haven't messed around with it.
But what's the use of something that's like a HomePod with a screen?
I don't know. I don't have any of those type of devices, so.
I mean, I know you can do like control panels. You can do like I've seen those e-ink ones, which are cool because you can make low power displays and they can show things on the display, and like a calendar and notes.
It's like controlling all of your HomeKit devices and things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope they have some other use case, because you can do it with your phone, your iPad. Like, why do I need a device with a screen on it?
Speaking of like
just
reading
that it's
TVs,
it's there, and it's like always powered up, so you can.
Yeah, that's true. Good for maybe for the kitchen.
Yeah.
Instead of wearing the Vision Pro on your face to try to get your cooking hints, you can just have a little video play.
My goodness, that was so horrible. But now that I think about when we talk about tea leaves, right? Like they introduced standby mode for the iPhone, and that was generally speaking, like I was like thinking like, oh, that's just a cheap one-off that they did. But now, if that rumor is true, this standby mode makes a lot of sense, because then you're just like, okay, we're gonna use widgets as like the way you interface with these things, and for a developer, that's actually pretty straightforward. One of the other things that I know Apple has been kind of trying to hint at us is like, hey, add as many intents as possible. We're gonna unlock a lot of things in the near future.
Okay,
go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. I guess that brings it to me. I have first, I think for sure they're gonna do some more Apple Intelligence stuff. I'm not.
How long into the keynote before they say AI?
Oh, just
either like 3 seconds or not at all.
5 minutes.
Or not at all. Yeah.
Well, actually, that's a good point, right? Because are they going to say AI, or are they going to just say Apple Intelligence?
Apple Intelligence, not going to say AI, I think, because, well, I don't know. I do think they're going to pretend that that the whole debacle didn't happen, probably, with the rollout.
What debacle?
Yeah, what debacle, exactly. Nothing went wrong. It was all by design. We're slowly rolling it out. I think, though, there was one rumor I saw that they might be giving access to developers to the actual models that they're using for certain things, which I guess is more than like the kind of integration you have now. Like, if we could actually access other Apple approved, I mean, there are some models you can download and stuff, but I think Apple is, I think what they're going to do, and who knows how much of this WWDC, but I think they're going to make it more accessible for you to use Apple approved models or like a partner's models. So it was this crazy rumor that I don't know how true this might be, that they were making like a cursor type Xcode interface with like Anthropic with a Claude, but maybe just internal to Apple. So I don't think that would be coming out or anything this year. But I think they're gonna have to do something, because the competition is way ahead of them in terms of integrating the stuff. Not that it's particularly useful, I think, on Android or something, but at least they have like apps that do things with like Gemini, and stuff. They technically do things.
It's all perception at this point.
Yeah, it's all perception, but the perception means a lot when you're a big publicly traded company and you want developers to support you. So I wouldn't be surprised if they offer better APIs to whatever machine learning, LM, AI, whatever you want to call it, stuff that Apple has, like being able for you to be able to do it. I think they might. I think that's like the AI related thing. The other thing I really want them to do is to make SwiftData good, because it's been 2 years. Okay,
no, I think they've given up on it
already.
If it's been 2 years, I don't know.
Well, so because SwiftData barely got any kind of improvement last year. And it's still really limited in a lot of ways. Meanwhile, over at Point Free, they're teasing like what I called on X. I called like the holy grail of persistence frameworks today,
wow,
where
that's
they have this sharing GRDB, I think it's called, library that they made that uses just SQLite on your device, and also has a lot of APIs that are very similar to SwiftData. Like a query macro, but they have like their own type of thing like that. But it works in observables, it works in like UI kit, it works in views and out of views, and it works with structs. And it's like, it works with all the things you want it to do. And they even have a query definition language so you can like generate the SQL, or you can use raw SQL. They have all this stuff to make accessing a straight up database and taking the database tables and making it into Swift, structs and such, and all this stuff really good. It's basically what you would probably want SwiftData to be.
So then, what do you need? Just use that.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, I'm like, Apple is better come out with something good, because I I haven't used it yet, so who knows in real life whether it work as well. But today they're teasing that they even got CloudKit to work with it. So if that actually works well, I mean, that was like the main thing you wanted to use SwiftData for, is because it's really easy to do CloudKit syncing. But if you can actually get that to work with all the other stuff they're doing, I mean, there's a chance that if you're willing to bring in a third-party dependency, of course, which is a big one, that this could become a really popular persistence framework. Like, I think we should try it out on a project. I don't know if it'll fit into this project, but like after this, we should maybe use something that does a database just so we can play around with this stuff. But I'm hoping that the persistence story with SwiftUI it could be better. Like core data is, core data. SwiftData is an improvement, but it's limited, and there is nothing that's like what Point Free's doing. And I'm not, I'd prefer Apple to provide some first-party solution, but we'll see what happens. I really want SwiftData to be improved. I wanted that last year, and I want it to be improved. I specifically want better lower-level APIs, because you can't do certain things with SwiftData very easily, like just dump data quickly into the database.
Like this could be a nice boutique opportunity for like a boutique app for you.
Are we not doing a boutique app now?
Well, yeah, this is, but like, I feel like this one we're not worried about a database, right? I mean, maybe we consider like caching, but like even that is like, what are we caching, right? So that requires a SQLite database. So, the only other thing I can think of like is like, okay, another boutique app, but maybe like either a to-do list app, haiku app, who knows?
Yeah, I have some other stuff. Yeah, that might. Yeah, the other app that I work on with the different mic.
Your other colleague.
Not the mic that the people on the podcast
not our good friend the Zorn.
Yeah, but
shout out to you.
Yeah, so I want to play with that. So that's what I'm hoping for. I think Apple has to come out with some kind of story to try to repair the fiasco that didn't happen with Apple Intelligence rollout. They have to they need something.
There's we still don't have was it Swift Assist?
Yeah, we never got Swift Assist.
We never got a Swift Assist, right?
Now, I don't know why, of course, but again, rumor is it didn't work very well. Which, I'm about this close, and if you could see in the podcast, I'm making one of those like tiny little gesture, like I'm this close, really close to turning off any of that crap in Xcode, because it keeps like adding, like auto completing stuff badly. Like Aaron, you turned it off, right? It just keeps screwing up.
Garbage all the time.
Yeah, it generates garbage half the time, or it's correct, but it just does it wrong, or does it like when I'm not ready for it. And I don't know. It seems like it just kind of happens sometimes. Like I'm triggering it when I don't want to. And I've been using it for a while now, and I still can't get the hang of when it's going to generate things. And sometimes I'm like, I put a dot down. I'm like, just give me the list of APIs or properties that are on this, and it just won't generate anything, or it'll generate some like ghost text of random junk. Like, what is this? Just give me the list of the effing APIs that I know are there. Like, auto-complete the APIs. Like, that's what I want. So, I don't know. The Xcode LM integration kind of sucks. And when you can use something, like, external to it...
Do you feel like they're going to give us a vibe coding option?
Well, as I said, I think the rumor is that they're doing something, and I could believe the rumor. I could see them messing with that, and I think that's a quick way for them to catch up, is just to use the best models available, like the Claude models. But will they announce a dub that they're bringing that to Xcode for us to use? I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's a slim chance. That would be like their really big thing. But I feel like that's too much. I feel like that's like, I don't know. They kind of just dumped Swift Assist in like one video, didn't they? And then they didn't really go into it. So maybe they'll do the same thing.
One thing that would be hilarious, but I doubt they'll do, is like, and we are reducing the percentage of like our 30%. We're reducing it down to 15.
15 forever for everybody, instead of just 15 for the first million for the small business thing. Which, by the way, I still can't figure out how to check if the registration is correct or not. There's like no way.
You just call the developer their account.
Yeah, I signed up for it so long ago.
Yeah,
but that I have that in the notes. That would actually be probably the biggest news ever out of WWDC.
Exactly.
Like,
right? Like you want to reverse the narrative. Boom.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because a lot of people talked about this, and I'm not a big Apple doomer guy. I think Apple does charge, I think, what is pretty fair for what you get. I think a lot of people underestimate exactly what value they're getting from it. But if they did just want to change the narrative, just tell everybody 15%, and all of a sudden a lot of people would, all of a sudden be more positive towards them, and it kind of undercuts some of the other negative narratives, because it's just unnecessary sometimes for like this company to be taking this flack. But I'm not here to defend Apple. They can defend themselves. They have obviously made some PR mistakes in the last couple of years.
If we were talking from a technical standpoint, because I think we're still around. I mean, aside from the SwiftData part, like, is there anything Swift specific or any of the tooling that we would expect?
Well, Xcode. I want Xcode just to not be a buggy piece of crap and anymore, because it crashes all the time. Its integration with Swift packages is still kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Like, the way you're supposed to structure them and have them work.
Did you have to reboot? You have to reboot your machine ever?
Well, I have to reboot Xcode all the time because it'll just stop compiling things for some reason. And then the Swift compiler is super slow when you run it through Xcode. Like, it's just really, really freaking slow. Like, there's probably settings or something you can flick on, but just out of the box, it's just slow, and it constantly gives me errors, like ghost errors, and you have to like kill the app, and and it just doesning seem like Xcode has been very stable for like a couple years now. It's just been really painful at times.
One of the thing we kind of skirt around or forgot about is the iOS 19 rumors of a UI redesign.
Have you seen? Wait, I was just gonna mention this. Have you seen the? Here, I'll put on the screen for us to look. Have you seen the logo for WW? This is, I think, more than a rumor. Yeah, I think it's more than a rumor.
Yeah,
I think this is definitely happening. I think we're getting some frostiness back here. It's like iOS 7 all over again.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There's some glintiness happening on the edges, so yeah.
Man, someone likes their Gaussian blurs or whatever.
So basically, the key feature of these rumors is, instead of a tab bar by default that's been there since the beginning, now we're gonna get a frosted floating tab bar that's with like in a capsule.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Right. So
for your folding phone.
For your phone
on the other side.
But
there you go.
Is that why?
I don't know.
With your folding phone, how does that work? Like, why would that help at all?
Well, I mean, if it doesn't have defined,
throw it at any side of the screen that you want.
Yeah, if they're floating buttons, they can be positioned anywhere and they look better. I would think more aesthetically pleasing. And with I think, is this more like what visionOS is? Because people have been saying they're going to make it more visionOS.
It's
like,
it's very much.
It looks like the logo looks like this frosted glass-ish rainbow, but there's also a glow, right? Like a backlit glow or something coming through it.
Yeah,
sort of.
That's more of a call to the rainbow bridge in the middle of the space port thing. But the other thing,
no, but not those glows. I mean, just look at the little. I feel like there's a little bit of and on the edges, the white. Kind of
right, yeah, that is a Vision Pro thing.
I feel like there's just like there's like glowing.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, that's
and then glint. Like a glint or whatever. So I think that's cool. We're gonna have a visual refresh. I think that's actually going to be the biggest thing for WW. They're going to talk about that more than anything else.
Goodness,
and it'll distract us all from Apple Intelligence.
It is going to be a cluster F of insanity, just in terms of like all the UI designers are going to be angry. Furious.
I'm terrified, man. I'm terrified that I have this old app that's like with Objective-C code and like really old things. I'm like really scared it's gonna. I'm not using a tab bar on that one, but I'm scared.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm scared of a redesign.
I assume this will be a Swift UI only thing, and like if your UI kit,
don't break old stuff, because iOS 7 was so painful. I don't want to go through that again. And then when dark mode came along, that was like a ton of work just to get that to work. Like, I don't want to do that again, Apple. Just like don't break the old stuff. Just
I don't even think most companies actually bother. That what's hilarious about dark mode is like if it's ever implemented, it's because nobody paid attention and like some developer snuck it in.
Dude, but people use dark mode, man.
Yeah,
people like their dark mode.
A
lot of people's phones are in dark mode.
They just don't want to do it because it's a lot of work to get the inverse of whatever your branding is. And if your brand's not ready for it or your company's not ready for it, like they don't have an inverse mode of that. So
plus, like, dark mode doesn't always look the best no matter what you do. Sometimes it does, but like it's not always the best like the looking thing. Like, for instance, if you do something like we're doing with if you have drop shadows on something, well, I mean, they kind of disappear in most dark mode implementations. You kind of your UI kind of has a very different feel to it when you jump to dark mode often. Like in the app I'm working on now in the day job, it's like that, where it's like
I
my
actually
dark
like
mode
your dark mode for that day job one. That came out pretty slick.
It's tweaked. It's a little different. I think you've seen it before. I'm leaning pretty heavily on default stuff, but so I think the background might be darker now. But yeah, it looks fine. It looks good. I mean, it looks fine to me. But you just don't get the skeuomorphic things like the shadows and stuff, which I think are cool in themselves.
I mean, I think with the Bento Fit app, the
our
metaphors
dark mode is spectacular because it just leans all the way into like we are in Tron.
Yeah. It was not even Tron. It was one of those things where I was just like, you know what? Like the light mode is a metaphor for like our like old school liquid crystal displays and just like
Game and Watch or Casio watch or whatever.
Exactly, right? Or like the old school Game Boy. Was it Game Boy or those type of like crystal stuff, right? But like and then when you switch to the dark mode, like this is a different world, right? Different metaphors.
I guess we should probably make it so we can we can turn it off in the app. So you can have dark mode on your phone but light mode on the app.
I guess we can do that for a price.
There you go. Yes. I like the way you're thinking there. We found another thing. The other thing for the $1 or $5, whatever.
You want to get rid of dark mode?
Yeah. You want to have light mode on when your phone's in dark mode or vice versa?
Yes.
And yourself.
And blind yourself? Yeah. That'll be perfect. I love
or your dark mode, you open up our app, it's like, what? So speaking of that, I remember way back in high school, I went to see Star Trek. The one where they're on the weird hippie planet, the Next Gen movie went on the hippie planet with the immortal people. I think that was the one.
All right.
Remember that one
was? The
Next Gen movie, whatever the heck that one was. Before the weird clone of Picard thing.
Okay.
The one before that, I think. Anyway, the weird melty looking face guys. I can't remember the name of this freaking thing. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm in the theater, and there's a scene. I think this is the movie. There's a scene in this movie where it goes from like I think a space scene or something to a wide angle shot of a snowy mountainscape, and I literally was blinded for a second because the whole screen turned white after it was just black, and so I literally couldn't see the film for a minute. I was like, "Oh my god, ow! What are you doing?" And this is back, it was so impactful. I remember it to this day.
That reminds me of like
it's the most painful Star Trek watching experience.
It does remind me similar to like Event Horizon.
Discovery.
I don't know if you saw that horror movie.
Which movie?
Where like Event Horizon.
Yeah, I love Event Horizon.
The first jump scare you ever get is the blinders, right? So it's like in dark and it's like
we're in a dark theater, man.
It's like it went from like talk about immediate like dark mode to like super light mode in like in a blink of a second. Yeah, it's like I got flash blind by like.
So if you want that experience. If you want that experience with the Bento Fit app, you have to pay.
You have to pay to give us $1. We're gonna just nickel and dime you.
Nickel and dime you.
In the settings, we're just like $1 here, $1 there. If you want this feature opened,
just troll people like Elon did on X for a while. He was like, "That'll be $8."
Yeah, something horrible like that. But
we'll troll you. You'll send us an email. We'll be like, "That'll be $1."
Hopefully, this idea isn't patented. But anyway, I think this would be a good place to sort of wrap up. And any last predictions from either of you of what any final thoughts of what could be coming out? One more before we go. Make it a good one.
No pressure.
No pressure that I threw this on you. I'll go. I'll start. Okay. Let's see. Well, I can't use the while you're thinking. Let's see. I will hope that we have a solution for all the concurrency stuff that has been complained about. Some kind of way to improve. Although, truth be told, that's probably not going to happen. Oh, okay. I got a better one. I want to see something that has deeper integration with Godot, the game engine. And I know that's like very big wishful thinking, but I feel like they've like subtly hinted at like maybe Godot would be a good option as a game engine to be used for visionOS. They already have that. Their Apple developers working on integrating visionOS into Godot, at least from like a support's point of view. So anyway, that's me.
Aaron.
Aaron's better health kit.
Are they just going to come out with like new Vision Air hardware and just make all your Vision Pros obsolete? That would be fun.
Nice.
That would be hilarious. All right, nice.
We're gonna put that on the bingo card.
Bingo card. visionOS Air or Vision Pro Air. Yeah, Vision Air.
Yeah, I want them, and I think they might actually be doing this. I want them to make things more stable this year.
This would be the Snow Leopard. This would be Snow
make
Leopard.
it a Snow Leopard.
I don't think
make
that's
it
going to
a
happen.
Snow Leopard release. Doesn't mean there's no features. It just means we make it stable. Now, of course, they're going to do a giant UI revamp, so maybe it's not possible. But besides messing with every single thing that you interact with as a user, and at least visually, maybe we could focus on things being not weird, buggy. Like, hey, how about the settings app search feature finally work? I don't know.
Okay.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Work reliably. How about we just not have weird bugs everywhere people keep finding. It just seems like it's been a pretty messy iOS 18 has been pretty messy. So let's go for some Snow Leopard goodness. And I like it. I think everybody would be happy if we had that.
Cool. All right. Well, that's all we have for today. You can learn more about Philly Cocoa at phillycocoa.org. There you'll find links to our Slack group, meetup schedule, and contact info. If you're feeling generous, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your podcast platform of choice is, and share us with all your developer friends. And one more thing. Today, I figured we'd go back to talking about Get.com, our good old stop scrolling, start cooking app, iPhone, iPad, from our good friends at the App John. Is it? I believe it's App John. Sorry, don't kill me. Made with love in Bucks County, PA. So they have a great app that helps you pull from the interwebs some great recipes from websites and collect them and store them and categorize them. So give them a look. They have a subscription model, and I believe they even have a assistant AI chef. Is that still in beta or no?
Not sure.
Developed in SwiftUI, I think the new version has been, so, or updated with SwiftUI. So it's a modern, clean, straightforward app, and I highly recommend it. So there it is. You just go to clipdish.com, getclipdish.com.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, this is just a shout out, and this is not a sponsored thing. So this is just because we love our local devs. But until next time, good luck on your own developer journey. We will cheer for you always.
Don't put culture in a box.